Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the English News from Djibouti channel. Here are our headlines for our news today. The headlines are launch of the project to strengthen the economic resilience of the vulnerable enterprise project in the interior region. On continental news, France relies on a rapid test to improve its system of test of COVID-19 under the chairmanship of Mohammed Ali Hamad. Yesterday held the second public of ordinary session for the year 2020 of the National Assembly. During the meeting in the hemicycle of the parliament, the sessions which saw the participations of the Prime Minister, Mr. Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, Minister and parliamentarians, had its inclusive agenda verbal question to the government launched by the introductory remarks made by the President of the Assembly. The plenary session saw the different speakers from the bench of deputies who engaged in a rich debate with many members of the executive. The questions of nearly 15 deputies and the inside of the Prime Minister and Minister were varied and multiple themes such as health, employment, water, fisheries, and among other were reviewed. The member of the government concerned by the parliamentarians' questions took the microphone to answer and clarify the questions asked by the parliamentarians. In answering questions from parliamentarians, the Minister of Communication as well as the Minister of Finance and other minister took the floor to clarify some questions asked to them. The Minister of Communications, for example, spoke of the fact that radio is a very important means of communication to link information from Djibouti to the distant airways. At the time, radio was listened to as far away as Ethiopia, Somalia, he said, and many others concerned. The Minister of Finance also answered many questions asked by the parliamentarians. In other terms, the Minister of Communications answer many questions, especially the question related to the radio broadcasting stations moderate frequency on average become obstacles. So he said that the reason why the radio has some difficult to transmit these waves in the whole territories and beyond. We are in the process of rehabilitating the station, negotiating with the supplier that will soon arrive, and all these things to the President of the Republic, who has granted us a fund through the Ministry of Budget that this company will come to establish a medium wave transmissions antenna, he added. Communicate Premise C, the Premier informs that from all today, all travelers arriving in Djibouti must have a test certificate COVID-19 from the country of departure. Measure will be taken against all travelers who do not present a COVID test certificate. Under the high patronage of the Minister of Economy and Finance in charge of Industry, Mr. Ilyas Moussa Dawale, and the Secretary of State in charge of decentralization, Mr. Hamadou Mohamed Aramis, the Center of Leadership and Entrepreneurship, organized yesterday the official launch of PRIV, which is a project for strengthening the economic resilience of vulnerable enterprise in the capital city of Tajura, with an amount of 7 million $1 million, which is 1,304 million of franc Djibouti. This project, funded by the Islamic Development Bank, aims to provide emergency assistance to micro entrepreneurs affected by the socio-economic crisis of COVID-19, and to improve access to production skills in the fishery, agro-pastoralism, and handcraft sector. The prefect of the regional council did not fail to thank the government's effort to reduce poverty through the entrepreneurship projects. The Secretary of State for Decentralization recalled that this funding will improve the living conditions of the young entrepreneurs. Inside, the Minister of Economy stressed the importance of the project for the young entrepreneurs to improve access to product skills in different skills such as fisheries and handcraft sector. In the late morning, the official delegation led by the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud, arrived at the Sunny Health Center, accompanied by the Mayor of Djibouti and several senior officials of his department. The minister was welcomed by the prefect of the region of Arta, Mr. Mohammed Sheikh Hassan, and several personalities from the region. A distinguished guest in the person of Lab Saleh, the famous Somali poet and composer considered one of the best in East Africa, also attended the ceremony. The mayor of Djibouti said that it was an opportunity for them to pay tribute to the young laureate for their enormous efforts to meet the challenges they faced throughout this exceptional year of 2009-2010, and for their brilliant success in the baccalaureate exams. A large delegation from the Djibouti Port and Free Zone Authority visited the historic city of Zeila in Somaliland, led by Mr. Mohammed Aden Waberi, advisor to the president of the APZ. This delegation was welcomed by the authorities of Salal region and the municipality of Zeila, a historical and strategic city in the Sib region. The delegation was composed of engineers and maritime pilots. The visit come within the framework of prospecting the constructions of port infrastructure at the port of Zeila. The representative of Somaliland in Djibouti and the authorities of the Salal region welcomed the Djiboutians delegation and also thanked them for their attentions in bringing relief to the Somaliland population. This project to build a fishing gate at the site of the old historic port of Zeila can create jobs for young people, but also revitalize the economy of the cities, say the representative of Somaliland in Djibouti. And now let's move on. Continental news. In France, the France authority faced the second wave of pandemic. France continues to strengthen and improve its screening system. 2 million tests were carried out last week, but waiting times and results often up to 48 hours remain major obstacles to effectively curbing the virus. The gradual arrival of rapid tests is a sign of hope. In Paris region, a rapid testing center have opened near several train stations. This is it for this evening news. Thank you for watching us and have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.